Yes, guys, the Euro squad is here. England squad has been announced. Gareth Southgate has got his squad ready to rock and roll. There's a few people that have been omitted from the squad who aren't there that I'm sitting there going, wow, could he have gone another way with that? But listen, let's go through the squad. I mean, the only one in terms of goalkeepers, I think that's easy. Pickford picks himself. He starts. There's no way he's not going to play him. I think rightly so. Pope is probably the only person who's not there, but that's down to injuries. Um, I think Dean Henderson, at the back end of the season, has played himself into the squad, no doubts. Aaron Ramsdale hasn't kicked the ball in anger really this season, but makes the squad. And James Trafford, obviously, relegated with Burnley, but a young prospect they're looking at, I'm sure. But I don't think any of them will be called upon unless there's a big injury to Jordan Pickford because he is England number one and he's carried himself with aplomb, I think, for the last couple of tournaments. Right, let's get into the sticky bit where I come into it. Defenders. A few young lads getting in there, which I think is always nice. I was once a young player who got in a squad. You got Jordan, Jared Branthwaite. You've got the young lad at Liverpool, Jarrell Quansah, Mark Gay, another one. Inexperienced players going to a tournament. Konza as well. I was one of those guys. And even you look through the squad, you've got Adam Morton that's got in there, Curtis Jones, Kobbie Mainoo as well. You look at even the forwards with Ollie Watkins and Ivan Toney, players that haven't got the experience, haven't been to a tournament. Cole Palmer, another one. There's a lot of guys in there that haven't been to a tournament. This is their first opportunity at a tournament. One bit of advice I'd give any player really, but especially the young ones who are, this is the first step on their ladder, actually, hopefully to greatness and to more opportunities like this at tournaments where they'll go and probably play. You'd like to think. One thing I'd say when you go into a tournament, do not leave a tournament without taking something out of there. I was a sponge in my first trip, 98. It was World Cup '98 in France, and I went there, and I had the experienced players like the Shearers and Paul Inces and people like that in the squad, and you think to yourself, let me just watch them. Let me just see what they're about. You had the great young players coming through, like the Beckhams and people like that. But I was looking at all the players who prepares best for games. Let me look at all of them. What are they doing around the hotel when there's downtime? Are they wasting energy? Are they just chilling? Who's always out of their room? Who's always in their room, never there? Who when they're preparing for games, when they're coming down off of games, look at the food, how, when they eat, what they eat, um, everything, man. Even the pre-game when you're in the changing room, watch people closely, man. You ain't there. Just don't be there. I've got a free ticket and I'm just going to enjoy the ride. Take something out of this tournament. I'm telling you, please, because it will hold you in good stead for uh, when it's your turn in the future. But you look at the defenders they got there. There's a lot of inexperience, yeah, but I don't see anything other than the manager playing the usual suspects: right back Carl Walker, John Stones, and Harry Maguire, and he'll probably play if he's fit. Luke Shaw or Kieran Trippier, I think, will be the understudy left back. I think Luke Shaw's lucky to get in, given the injury situation. He could be one of the ones that's been told, "Listen, come in. I trust you. Come in and prove your fitness. If you can prove it in the camp, then when I trim the squad down, you won't be a player that's leaving." That's all I can see for someone like Luke Shaw, because I think when he's been fit, he has been really, really good. Um, but yeah, I think there'll be other players who are omitted for maybe a lack of fitness or game time or intensity, as the manager said about Jordan Henderson, who'll be sitting there going, "Hold on a minute, this player that ain't even played football. Ramsdale ain't kicked a ball." Do you know what I mean? Someone like Jordan Henderson might be sitting there saying that. Raheem Sterling might be saying that. There'll be players like that. Even a Sancho maybe would say, like, "Listen, hold on a minute. You're making certain excuses for others, but treating me differently. Like, what's going on there? How's Luke Shaw getting in when he ain't played for ages? He's been injured, had loads of injuries this year, but he's now going to get in. But because I've had a few injuries, I'm not getting in." Reece James might be sitting there saying that. Just come back, I'm fit now. Let me prove my fitness to you if other people are getting the opportunity to do that. So it's a lot of questions to be answered for the manager, I'm sure. But I think the usual suspects will start. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold in midfield is a big call. No doubts in his ability, but it's just something a bit different. He's always been a right back in the squad. Conor Gallagher, I think he gets in there. Conor Gallagher over Henderson. He's had a really good season this year. Curtis Jones is another one who's just quietly gone about his business. Kobbie Mainoo, Adam Morton, two young players. I've seen Adam Morton play a few times for Palace this year. One against, I think, City and Liverpool at home, and he was very, very impressive. Temperament looks bang on. Bought him from the Championship, so you can see that's good ones. They're good ones for the future. Given the experience, they might not start, they may not feature. Kobbie probably got a better chance. Um, and then you go to the forwards where it gets a bit tasty. Jude Bellingham taken as a forward, by the way, is interesting. See how that plays out. I think Eze's played himself into this team, into the squad. Sorry, Cole Palmer 100% as well. The left-hand side is the big one. That's the big one. Rashford, no Rashford's the big shout. No Rashford is the big one because he hasn't been in form. He's played games, but he hasn't had the form. But he's always he's done all right for England when he's played. And I thought there was a little niggly feeling for me that he'd be taken. But I think if the one thing that he did bring, which was pace in behind, I don't think they would have had that and I think he would have gone if Anthony Gordon wasn't in the form he's in. Anthony Gordon comes in, and I think he's that threat behind with pace that they're going to want at certain times. Maddison, I think people were not sure if he was going to get him, but I think again he gives you something different. I think Tony and Watkins are the two next best ones. I've got to say to be understudy to Kane. It's just how he's going to shape up. It is really how he's going to shape up. I think people are sitting there going, well, if Rashford can't go, how does Grealish go? Because he hasn't played many games. There's a lot of that. I think there's going to be a lot of that, and a lot of people. Sancho, he's in a Champions League final. How's he not got in? Jadon Sancho's in a Champions League final, done bits, by the way, in that tournament, and don't get a sniff either. But listen, Southgate, it's his 30-man provisional squad, so you've got to look at it, and then we can see what's going on. I think injury and fitness are concerns for some players, but I'm more interested in how he's going to shape this team up. Because let me just give you a little insight into what I would do if I was the manager now with the players that we have. I'd play Carl Walker right back. So what I'd play in and out of possession, different formations. So in possession, I'd play three at the back. I'd play Carl Walker right side of a free, Maguire centre of a free, or Gay, and I'd play on the left-hand side of a free, Luke Shaw if he's fit. And I play in the two pivots in front. I play Declan Rice and John Stones, a bit like he does for Man City. But when we lose the ball, John Stones drops back and makes it a back four. And so you've got the two pivots when we've got the ball, and I play a box in there, and I play two 8/10s, Foden and Bellingham, two wingers, Saka, and I think I'd go Cole Palmer at the moment. I don't know. I don't know if I don't know Saka. I'd go Gordon actually. I'd go Gordon and Anthony Gordon, and Saka on one side, and I'd go Kane up front. That left hand side is a tricky one. It depends who I'm playing against, what I'd do out there. For some games, it might be Grealish, it might be Cole Palmer, it might be Eze, it might be Gordon. I don't think that one's the one. I think that's the one you don't know about. And then when we lose the ball, I just get what's it called? Declan Rice go to as a pivot. Jude Bellingham and Foden come in and be the two midfielders, and I leave my three up front to cheat and be a threat on the break, and I go back into a back four. John Stones slotting in, but yeah, man, it's a you look at it and you think, hold on a minute, have we really got a chance? I do believe we got a chance. I think, is there much different? What could he have done? You talk about there's a lot of people moaning online. I've seen it, but what's the difference? What would you have done differently? I think those players, bar maybe Rashford, could be one that comes in, but anyone else, I don't think there's much going on there, man. But what I would say, can I just say something? I would go to Marcus Rashford right now. You're not in the squad. I got left out of the squad by Kevin Keegan, and I went on holiday, had a good time, and I absolutely worked my socks off before I even went back to the club. That's what I'd be doing if I was Jaden. I mean, if I was Marcus Rashford, Jaden, I'd be another one. I'd do the same thing, because you know what happens when you're not picked in a squad. It's ego. Your ego takes a battering. That's one thing. Your pride. You're walking down the street. You're looking around. Everyone looking at you, thinking everyone's talking about me. Everyone's laughing at me. That's how you have to feel. That's how you will feel. But that's got to be the fuel then that punches you into pre-season. Actually, before pre-season even starts, that's what happens. You've got to get yourself ready to rock and roll for the season, but start early and use that as your fuel. Don't let that make you sink. Reboot, recharge, reassess, and then go again. And I want and you want to see that the Marcus Rashford that we saw not last season, the season before, because it's there. I know it is, but there's got to be a refocus. Use this moment of hurt, of pain, of not going to the Euros. Rest your body, because I think he needs to rest his body as well. Playing with injuries a lot of the time as well. But now, refocus. Get yourself ready to go and shut up all of these people that are doubting you, because they are, and you want to ram it down their throats. That's how you got to think, man. You got to be aggressive with it and just go, man. Be single-minded. Um, who else? Yeah, it's mad because we could start the tournament. You've got Shaw could start, Maguire, not a regular starter for Manu. Both of them through injury and then through form and choice. John Stones has had a lot of injuries towards the back end of the season. Not played a lot of games, which could help you in one way, but I'm just saying, not played a lot of games. And you're looking at him thinking, hold on a minute. Defence is our biggest. I think you look at where the strengths are in our team. I think definitely in the midfield and forward areas is our strengths, and I think defensively is going to be where we're going to have to make sure that we have a system that makes sure we protect individuals, but also helps us as a team to nullify other teams, because it's going to be difficult when we come up against the good teams. We just have to stay away from Germany and France, but I know we're going to have to get France at some point before the final. So let's see, man. I'm going to be there. Are you going to be there? Make sure you turn your notifications on, you subscribe. Make sure you're ready to rock and roll, because during the Euros, we are going to be live and direct from there. Live and direct from the Euros. Me, myself, all the guys at 5 will be there. So turn your notifications on, because we're going to be banging out content all tournament long. Listen, thanks, guys, and I'll catch up with you soon. Let us know in the comments what you think of this England squad, by the way.